Alright, let's be real. You're at a gaming crossroads. Down one path, there's a shiny 4K beast that is the PS5 Pro, sitting on store shelves right now. And down the other, the hazy, almost mythical promise of the PlayStation 6. And you're terrified of making the wrong choice. Did you just blow a ton of cash on the Pro? Or are you a certified genius for holding out for the PS6? That's the big question for games here in 2026. The fear of missing out is hitting hard, but it's also the fear of burning a hole in your wallet. So today, we're cutting through the noise. We're going to break down the power, the games, the price, and the rumored future that will give you a straight answer. We're going to pit the machine that you can own today against the revolution that is still a couple years away. So by the end of this, you should know exactly which console has your name on it. Let's settle it. First up, let's talk about the hardware that you can actually go out and buy today, the PlayStation 5 Pro. It landed in late 2024 and it had one clear goal, to be the absolute best way to play games for the rest of the PS5 generation, and actually of all the consoles, Xbox included. But is it a must-have upgrade or is it just a pricey victory lap? The answer is kind of complicated. Media outlets like Digital Foundry have shown that the ray tracing is anywhere from 2 to 4 times faster than the base PS5. So in the real world, this means games that had to choose between fancy lighting and smooth 60 frames per second on the old base console can finally do both. Just look at this year's big hit, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, and the base PS5. They're gorgeous, ray-traced worlds, but you're often locked to about 30 or 40 FPS. On your Pro, you're hitting a rock-solid 60 FPS, sometimes even higher, with all those bells and whistles becoming a new standard, and it makes a world of difference. But the Pro's real ace in the hole is PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR. This is Sony's own custom AI upscaling tech powered by dedicated machine learning hardware. PSSR cleverly takes a low resolution image and uses AI to boost it to a razor-sharp 4K or even 8K, creating detail that older methods just couldn't fake. So after more than a year on the market, everyone agrees, well, not everyone, but most people, PSSR is the real deal. It has its hiccups, but it's in the beginning stages. It's machine learning, right? So it's going to get better over time. And then there's also the rumored PSSR 2. We'll get to that in a minute. Basically, PSSR is the magic ingredient that lets games look incredible without tanking your performance. And guess what? Unlike the base PS5, the PS5 Pro can receive patches and get better over time with the machine learning. So, Sony isn't done. Leaks and credible sources suggest that an updated PSSR 2 is in the works for sometime in 2026. Early 2026 is what everything is pointing to. Developer documents apparently describe it as a huge upgrade built on a totally new algorithm. The goal is to deliver a massive leap in image quality while somehow using less GPU power. And if it's as big as a jump as they say it is, it could keep the PS5 Pro feeling cutting edge for years to come. So that brings us to the elephant in the room for 2026, Grand Theft Auto 6. With the PC version not coming until, who knows, another year, 2, maybe 3 years, probably like 2 years if I had to take a guess. Your console choice is everything, meaning this is going to be the only place that you can experience that game on launch. And if you want to ensure yourself that you're going to have the best possible experience on launch day, the PS5 Pro is the only right answer. But this is just a rumor. It's a persistent one from sources who have been right before. Rockstar and Sony supposedly have a marketing deal, and PlayStation engineers are helping optimize the game for the Pro, because they obviously want the game to run and look as best as it can, especially when it first comes out. This game's been in development for like 12 years? The rumors claim that GTA 6 is targeting 60 frames per second on the PS5 Pro, while the base PS5 and the Xbox Series X consoles are going to be running at 30 FPS. That's going to be a big deal. I'd be like going to play Red Dead Redemption 2 right now in 2026 in 30 frames per second. It looks great. It's a fantastic game, but that 30 frames per second, it just doesn't feel the same as 60 FPS. Like 60 FPS should be the bare minimum standard for all games moving forward. But if GTA 6 is only running at 30 frames per second, good luck with that. If, and it's a big if, that turns out to be true when the game launches in November, the PS5 Pro is instantly going to become the one and only console for playing the biggest game in the world at launch in all its glory. Basically, the GTA 6 Definitive Edition. That alone could be worth the price of admission for millions. Finally, there's the box itself. The Pro comes standard with a 2TB SSD, almost 3 times as much as the base PS5, which is what, like $825. But I think by the time you have system stuff installed, you got like 670 gigabytes. So having 2 terabytes is almost triple the storage, and it's a desperately needed upgrade over the original. And it includes Wi-Fi 7 for faster downloads and more stable Wi-Fi connections. And I can tell you from experience that it is much better, much more reliable, and much faster. But yes, $699 launch price is steep. I think it's probably $749 now. All the consoles pretty much on the market have increased in price. So $749. But when you think about it, what would it cost you to build a PC that can do everything the PS5 Pro can do? I mean, an RTX 5090 graphics card is already like triple the price of a PS5 Pro. A lot of people say just build a PC, just build a PC. And I trust me, I get the appeal, I get how much power, how nice the games can look on the PC, but like realistically for the average person, they're not gonna spend that amount of money for just the graphics card and nothing else. And it's already triple the price of the console. It's just unrealistic. If you can afford to do so, that is great. But for the average person, that is not really a realistic thing to expect for them to do. So when you take all that into consideration, $749 suddenly doesn't seem so crazy. It's an investment. It has AI upscaling built into it, machine learning, meaning it can continue to get better, whereas the base PS5 can't. It's an investment for sure, but it's an investment in the best console experience you can get right now. Okay, now let's shift our focus from the present to the future. If the PS5 Pro is an upgrade, the PlayStation 6 is shaping up to be a revolution. But remember, this is all based on speculation, insider leaks, and educated guesses. It's exciting stuff, don't get me wrong, but take it with a grain of salt. The most detailed leaks, many from sources who nailed the PS5 Pro specs ahead of time, like Moore's Law is dead, paint a pretty wild picture. The story goes with Sony sticking with the AMD for a new custom chip, codenamed Orion, that would be a true generational leap. It is rumored to be built on AMD's future Zen 6 CPU architecture. To put that in perspective, PS5 Pro currently is using a Zen 2 chip from 2020. So jump to a Zen 6 would be mind-blowing, increase in processing power, completely changing what developers can do with graphic physics, AI, and world building. On the graphics side, leaks suggest the PS6 could boast a performance in the ballpark of 34 to 40 teraflops, more than double the PS5 Pro. And in terms of ray tracing, the jump can be even more massive, with some leakers claiming it could be 6 to 12 times faster than the base PS5. To put that in perspective, insiders claim that the PS6 is targeting the performance of something like NVIDIA RTX 4080, one of the most powerful PC graphic cards out there right now. It's not a 5090, but still pretty good. Imagine a console that can run games at native 4K at 120 frames per second and deliver a stable 8K at 60 FPS. I mean, that would be crazy. And of course, it will still come with next-gen AI upscaling. I mean, it's only going to continue to get better and better. That's kind of the power we're talking about with the PS6. Of course, this futuristic dream machine comes with 2 huge question marks: when and how much. Historically, Sony has had about a 7-year console cycle, which will put the PS6 launching about late next year, about 2027. But honestly, my personal opinion, I don't expect to see it then. But I'm just me. What do I know, right? I mean, we're still technically supporting cross-gen from PS4. So the fact that we haven't left PS4 behind, we haven't really technically hit our real stride in the PS5, I just don't see how the PS6 is going to be here next year. I absolutely could be wrong though, so we'll see. I do think it's important for people to keep in mind the global demand for high-end components and chips for AI that could create shortages, potentially pushing the release into 2028, maybe even 2029. So if you're waiting, I wouldn't really expect it to be next year. Just be prepared to wait another 2, possibly 3 years. 3 years is probably the absolute most I could see them pushing it out to, but at least another 2 years if you ask in my opinion. And then there's the price. With that kind of power, that far into the future, with the demand on AI and chips, is it easy to imagine the PS6 costing a fortune? I mean, the PS5 Pro right now is $750. The base PS5 is like $550. I think the PS5 Pro is going to be the baseline of what a base PS6 is going to cost you. I honestly, I wouldn't expect it to cost much less, if any. I mean, they might take a loss a little bit early on to get it in people's hands, because it is going to be probably a pricey console. Maybe 700 being the baseline, but other leaks suggest that Sony's working hard to keep it between $500 and $600. I think that's going to be tough, but we'll see. If they can do that, great, you know. But it is a business at the end of the day. So if you are waiting, like I said, just prepare to wait 2, maybe 3 years, and just be prepared to spend at least $700-800. And with inflation, I mean, who knows? But the wildest rumor of it all, the PS6 might not launch alone. There have been whispers of a dedicated handheld device, not like the PS Portal, but a dedicated, like, real handheld codenamed Canis. Or Canis, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's been floating around for a while. True successor to PS Vita, not the Portal, the Vita, capable of natively running PS4 and maybe some PS5 games on the go. I mean, that would be great, right? And with the surprise success of the PlayStation Portal, it's clear Sony is paying attention to the handheld market again. I mean, basically every company in the world that's in gaming is in handheld. I think phone gaming is like at an all-time high. It might actually like be more than like regular console gaming. Like, that's like the goal of everybody right now, is to get like a game in your hand some way, right? Xbox says you can game anywhere. PlayStation has the Portal. They had the Vita back in the day. Nintendo's basically a handheld device now. You can dock it, but it's basically a handheld. Everything is handheld these days. So it's going to be exciting if PlayStation actually makes a dedicated one again. All in all, though, the PS6 sounds incredible. I'm not even going to lie to you. But it's still just a promise. It's still just a rumor. It's still just a hope, a fantasy at this point. One that's years away and wrapped in mystery. So, I mean, honestly, what it really boils down to is this. Do you want the absolute best way to play blockbusters right now? Or are you just more excited about owning the most advanced tech later down the road? Even if you have to wait for games to catch up to it. So here's the verdict. Who should buy what? I say get the PS5 Pro if you're a performance junkie. You want smoother 60 FPS gameplay, better ray tracing, and you want a little bit of AI magic for the PSSR. And hopefully PSSR 2 this year to deliver a better experience than you can see and feel today. If you're someone who needs to play Grand Theft Auto 6 at its absolute best on a console or launch date. If the 60 FPS rumor holds, the Pro is a must buy. You're getting the definitive version of the most hyped game in decades. And last but not least, if you're impatient. If you wait until 2028, possibly 2029, that might sound like torture to you. Now, you should wait for the PS6 if you're perfectly happy with what you have right now. If you have a PS4 Pro right now, a base PS5, and that is perfectly good for you, go ahead and wait. There's no rush. You can afford to be patient. Now, if you're somebody that's all about the future, if you live for the cutting edge and are willing to wait for the massive leap in technology, hold out for the PS6. Because you're investing in the long term, not just the now. Now also, if you're in a budget and you can play the long game, the PS5 Pro is expensive. I mean, they're all going to be expensive in the future. But if the price is a barrier, just go ahead and wait. You have more time to save, because like I said, you might be spending baseline $700, $800. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is $1,000 or more. I've heard $1,200, so I don't know. But you'll have more time to save. And the PS6 might, at launch, even be more competitive price than we expect. So there's that. And last but not least, you're a patient gamer. If you don't need to play games on day one and usually wait for sales, the PS6 launch library won't really matter to you. You can wait for the console to mature and for the prices to drop. So if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, and if you found it helpful at all, share it with a friend. And if you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And I'll catch you in the next one.